Hello and welcome back to another lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on the Great Depression. The Great Depression happened in 1929. It had two huge days. One is over here in the picture, as you can see on the left. It was October 29th, which was a Tuesday. The other one was October 26th, which was a Thursday. Those were both called Black Thursday and Black Tuesday. They're called that because lots of money was lost on those 2 days. The stock market dived off a cliff. So, today we're going to get into why that happened. And we're going to do that by discussing buying on margin and installment plans. Now, installment plans are probably something you guys are more familiar with. Basically, if you buy a $1,500 computer, you may not have $1,500 in your bank account. And so how do you get this $1,500 computer? Well, you pay on it in installments, okay? So every month, say, you probably will pay, say, $150. And if it gets past 6 months, they'll start charging you interest. And that interest could be like, say, $10 every month. And that's how they secure their investment of giving you a $1,500 laptop for $150 a month, right? And if it gets past 6 months, they start charging you $10 in interest every month, or more, maybe less. That's how they know that they'll get their money back, basically. Or they're counting on getting their money back and then a little bit more for taking a risk on you. That's how installment plans work. Basically, monthly promises to pay them back the full amount plus a little bit of interest. Now, it's very similar when you get to buying on margin. So if you look over to the left, you'll see this Google stock is $500. But me being a teacher, I don't have millions of dollars. So how am I going to buy, say, 100 shares of Google when 100 shares of Google is equivalent to $50,000? Well, I buy on margin. I go to a bank. I ask the broker, hey, sell me this for, say, I'll give you, the best I can do is $150 per share. So they'll be like, okay, we'll do that. So $150 per share means $15,000. So I have to give this guy $15,000 to get my $50,000 worth of Google shares. Now, why am I doing this? Why am I buying stocks on margin in the first place? Well, in 1929 and the 1920s overall, the stocks were just going up and up and up and up and up. And economists said that it would never stop going up. So therefore, if you buy Google for $500, you could potentially sell it for, say, $600, $700, $800, or who knows where, really, even. And you could make thousands and tens of thousands, or maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars on this deal, right? So that's why I'm willing to take this huge investment, this huge risk to buy $50,000 worth of stock, because I'm planning on selling it for $700 to $800 worth, right? Because if I do that, well, that's a lot of money. Because 800 times 100 is 80,000. So I can easily pay back this vast amount, even though I didn't have it to start with, right? So I can easily pay back 50,000, pay whatever interest is, say another 10 grand, and I still get to keep $20,000. Which means I made $5,000. So maybe I'd actually sell it a little bit higher. But still, the point is, I'm looking to make money on this, right? And that's what everyone was trying to do, is to try and make money on this. They are all betting on the market to go up and to continue going up, as all the economists and brokers and banks told them it would continue to do. And as long as the market kept going up, buying on margin was fine. It was okay. But the problem was that when the market was going up because people were buying things on margin. They were buying these stocks, which caused the stocks to go up in price because of supply and demand. The less of something there is, the more money it costs. Supply, demand. When there's a lot of demand for something, the price goes up as well. So these stocks were being artificially inflated. Their price was being faked as being higher and worth more than it actually was. And when people started having less confidence in it and started selling, that caused Google's price, say, to drop to 300, which caused more people to sell their stocks, which caused it to drop to 200, which when you look at it, someone like me, and I bought it for this much, and I owe $35,000 to that bank broker, remember? Because I only paid $15,000 of the $50,000. This guy's not going to be very happy if I don't pay him back his $35,000. And so what would happen is the stock market went down. This caused all the people that bought on margin to panic. And they also sold their stocks because any amount of money you make back is better than none, right? Because I still have to pay this guy back whatever money I have. And if I don't, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble, okay? A lot of trouble. So what would happen is if you couldn't pay back that amount of money, they would come after your other assets, like your house or car. My poor drawing of a car. And they would seize these assets and sell them off for whatever amount of money you could get. And then you, sir, are out of the house. You have no home, no car. And this all caused, the stock market crashing caused lots of people to lose their jobs. And why did that happen, you ask? Well, when the stocks crashed, banks who loaned all that money to the people buying on margin lost all their money too. All the money went away. So when people started going to banks to get their money out of the banks for whatever reason, to like say, go buy something nice or go to a nice dinner, there was no money in the banks. And then they would call their friends up and go, hey, we just went to American Union Bank and I couldn't even get $1,000 out of my savings account. You should probably go to your bank and get your money out before this happens to you. And then this is what happens. You tell one friend, they tell two friends, they tell their family members, who tell their friends and family members, who tell their friends and family members, and then they're all swarming into the bank to get their money out. Now, any banks that didn't run out of money due to the stock market crashing ran out of money immediately when everyone started withdrawing their money from the banks, right? And eventually they ran out of so much money that they couldn't pay every single individual what was actually in their account. So people lost thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Because the banks literally ran out of money and could no longer support anyone's bank account. So all that money was just gone. So now any attempts to pay back that margin or pay back interest, gone. And then banks would also seize people's houses when that happened. And everyone would lose their wealth, right? Now, when banks have no money, banks can't make loans to businesses. When businesses can't get money from banks, they can't pay their workers because guess what? All these people have no money. Businesses run on money. If people don't have money, nothing's being bought. No homes, no water bottles, no computers, nothing's being bought because no one has money. If no one has money and the business isn't getting money, the workers at that business aren't getting paid. If they're not getting paid, they can't afford their mortgages for their houses, which then the bank sees. So then people don't have houses. People lose jobs. And you can see this is just quickly spiraling out of control, where because of simply people buying stocks on margin, everyone lost their money and their way of life very quickly and very easily. And that is